I started doing food with a huge background of having done it before, because we were the only food show when I was doing it on Times Now. Everybody else was doing a cooking show. I was the only person doing a food show. Before me, NDTV Vinod Dua, renowned journalist who conducted election reporting for years, also used to do a food show.
I loved it.
He used to go on
the
streets,
road.
On the roads.
Yeah.
And we did pretty much that, a younger version of Vinod Dua.
Yeah.
So my face was already established on television.
Okay.
So my entry into YouTube, unlike a new content creator, was easier.
Folks, welcome to Paisa. I'm your host Anupam Gupta. As you can see, I have no script because it is that time of the year. Today is 23rd December, 2 days away from Christmas. It is our Christmas special. I am absolutely thrilled to feature Kunal Vijaykar. Khaane mein kya hai? He wears many hats. Like today, I'm wearing one hat. I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but we're going to make it fun. Kunal, welcome to Paisa. Thank you so much for doing this for us.
Thank you for inviting me on PaisaVaisa. These are two words that I have pretty much very little knowledge about. But I just liked the idea of talking to a man who's wearing a Christmas hat.
Okay. I think I passed one marker out there, but thank you so much. But I mean, I'm just fascinated by the work that you've done. 500,000 subscribers, more than 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, like 532K. Hamara bichara PaisaVaisa is, still at something like 40K, but it just speaks a lot about the passion that you bring to your work. Food is, of course, such a big topic. I want to rewind, okay? These days, movies start with, this entire background and story and all that. So you're a thoroughbred Mumbaikar.
Absolutely. Born and brought up 700 years in Mumbai. Generations. We are the original Mumbaikars.
Oh, so I know. Of course it's true.
Yeah.
Advertising graduate lands up in Bollywood. I want to just focus on that early journey of yours.
Well, advertising graduate, yes. Lands up in Bollywood is a bit of a question because I really am not Salman Khan.
Okay.
So I have dabbled is a better word.
I want to rewind and go to advertising. I'm a chartered accountant, okay? Apna life it was not glamorous at all. You're this advertising guy and us bichara people used to look at advertising, boss, kya hai, good crowd and everybody's polished, everybody's creative, everybody's products are so great. What was that part like of your life? Because advertising in that era was like the place to be in. You're making great ads.
You watched Mad Men?
Yeah, of course. Don Draper.
So we are one generation after Mad Men. But the behavior, there was a certain leftovers from that kind of Mad Men behavior during our days in advertising. And I'm going to get brickbats for saying this.
Okay.
But we could smoke in the office and we could drink in the office.
Okay.
So at least at the place I worked in, till it started becoming not so appropriate to do that. But that was the era when, there was nothing that was politically incorrect. You did not get offended for doing things. You could sit around. You walked into any copy room. I'll just rewind a bit. I was a graduate of the JJ School of Art. But so I should have joined advertising as a visualizer. But for whatever reason, I joined as a copywriter. So you're sitting in the copy room discussing a campaign for Indian Cancer Society.
Okay.
Anti-smoking campaign. Where everybody in the room has got a cigarette in their hands.
Okay.
So you've got cigarette and chai and you're... How do we tackle this problem of cancer, man? So this is how advertising was, if I may describe it in a nutshell.
Paid well?
Oh, it paid very well.
Yeah.
It paid very well. Yeah. It was great fun because it was a very creative agency, small company, creative. The big boss himself was a theatre man. Sylvester Dacuna.
Oh my, okay.
Sylvester Dacuna. And through him, and because they were all a gang, Alec Padamsee, Sylvester Dacuna, Jerson Dacuna, and they all advertising people were in theatre. It was a sort of natural progression that from advertising, okay, what are we doing in the evening? Let's rehearse a play.
Wow. So you've obviously got a career in theatre also.
Theatre career
also. Does it
also.
date back to your advertising days?
Yeah.
Did you do stuff? What was it at that time?
We did plays. the first professional play that I did was a play called Topsy Turvy, which was a comedy review, situational comedy review, a bit like what The Week That Wasn't Then turned out to be.
Okay.
So again, you're commenting on social situations.
Reminds me of Bottoms Up.
Exactly. Bottoms Up was based on, I did a Bottoms Up also, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah. Bharat Dabholkar worked with us.
Okay.
So he was also part of the same agency. So there was a mahal of theatre, if I may call it that.
Amazing.
शाम को सब 9:30 बजे रिहर्सल को जाते थे, and it was
what a life to have, huh?
It was a good life.
You're doing 18-hour days, I'm assuming.
Yeah, hard
Slogging
drinking,
at office,
hard working.
going in, yeah. But that was a place to be and a thing to do.
Yep, absolutely. It was good fun.
Transition. From there, what next? What happened next?
What happened next is that because of the theatre, there are these theatre people who are also in advertising.
Yeah.
So everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody was casting for a TV commercial and they said, this fellow has a funny face.
Okay.
उसको cast करते हैं करके. So then I got cast in one TV commercial which was Sill Jam, which
Unforgettable. Folks,
which sort
go
of,
to YouTube, search Sill Jam's ad and
yeah,
you know what to
and,
watch.
and so that led to a lot of work coming up. At which point I realized that I was making more money outside advertising than I was making in advertising.
It grew to that extent.
Yeah,
Wow.
it grew to that extent. Also, what happens is that the more senior you get in advertising, the more answerable you start becoming to clients, which means you have to start attending presentations, doing pitches, and then that's something I don't.
The creative part comes out of
Yeah,
it.
I
Becomes
stopped
routine,
enjoying
becomes boring.
Yeah, no, it's very stressful also. No? Here it's very easy to scream at an account executive saying, go fucker, sell the campaign and come back. When you've got to sell it yourself, then it becomes less pleasurable.
We just earned an explicit tag, but hey, why not?
You can beep it out if you want to.
Go on, please.
So I started slowly, but we are also all middle class people, so you don't want to quit a job immediately. So I started going half day, then I started, and then by the time I said, okay, chalo, let's quit working full time and do acting work, which was good.
And your family's fine with all this stuff that you're doing, your
Yeah,
late
yeah.
hours
So
and your middle class Maharashtrian.
Yeah, so I had a fairly liberated family. So, and I was not married. I still am not married, and so I'm a single man. So I could do whatever I had to do. So there was no family pressure to send children to the US or anything like that.
Great. So I want to now go into Bollywood because you're the second Bollywood actor I've had on my show so far in my almost 8 years.
That's a very bad show you've got here. I'm the second Bollywood actor.
I mean,
कोई celebrity आता नहीं क्या इस show पे?
Technically third, okay? Because I had mother and daughter, Sharmila Tagore and Soha Ali Khan.
After Sharmila Tagore and Soha Ali Khan, Kunal Vijaykar, अरे वाह.
Well, yeah. But you're the third Bollywood personality on my show. It's a money show, Kunal. Come on, where am I going to get Bollywood people? You think that
they've got the most money,
and they don't want to talk about it.
That is true.
They want the newspapers to talk about it. They want Viral Bani to talk about it. Where are they going to come on my show? The Bollywood era, so to say, of Kunal Vijaykar.
See, look, there was no Bollywood era. To be completely honest, I have never been a mainstream, full-time, anything Bollywood actor. I've taken on projects as acting projects based on the people who'd offered it to me.
Okay.
So if some young director who wants me, really wants me, not coming through some casting agency and saying कि 10 मोटे लोगों को लाओ और हम एक चुनेंगे. If somebody says, I like this fellow, I want to work with him. If we vibe together. And so I've gone and done the odd film here and there. Where somebody says, okay, I'll pay you X amount of money. Paisa. If the money is good, if the atmosphere, the people and the project is good, I've done it,
What stuff that you liked?
Well, I liked Ab Tak Chhappan, which was became an iconic film. Somebody decided to cast me against my grain. Otherwise, everybody who cast me says, you're playing this happy, jolly uncle or happy, jolly brother. Or, I have had a film offered to me saying, sir, aakar director ko milo yaar. So I said, okay. So I went on to the set. The director was shooting in the middle of a shoot with Amir Khan and somebody.
Wow.
And so I stood there waiting for the shot to get over. The director comes to me and says, fantastic, you're on. But I said, but I don't even know what the film is.
Okay.
So then the fellow who brought me, the production head, said, मैं आपको.
You walked in without knowing what.
No, he's a known film director. I said, please come and meet the director. I said, I'll come and meet the director. I don't have ego, that kind. So I said, I'll come. Of course, I'll come and meet the director. Then the production, the head said, मैं आपको explain करता हूँ, आपका role क्या है.
Okay.
So he says, देखिए, आपका जो role है ना, आपके कपड़े masculine सिलाएगा.
Okay.
अच्छा. फिर आपको एक एंट्री है और एंट्री पे आप शायरी बोल रहे हो.
Okay.
So, see, these are all the things that matter when people accept. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, of
when
course.
I accept roles, who's making do you have the budget? So, if masculine making your clothes and costumes, then you're in the slightly better role,
And for perspective, masculine was the...
Masculine is still, masculine still makes my clothes, by the way.
I thought Madhav's or some, old school, really old school.
No, masculine is Shah Rukh Khan's clothes.
Masculine is Dadar, right?
No, masculine is a Jew.
Jew, okay,
Yeah.
sorry, I mixed it up there. Yeah.
Naresh Bhai.
Okay.
And so, and आपकी entry है.
Okay.
I mean, there is a specific sort of, thing where he's entered the frame.
Yeah.
And then one line you've got, at which point I said, I can't do this.
Okay.
I cannot do this.
But ab tak chappan hai. Nana Patekar.
So this is the thing.
Shimit Amin, I think, was the director.
Shimit Amin came as a wonderful fellow, came to discuss. See, Ram Gopal Verma produced the film. He did not want me, for some reason, he did not want to cast me in that particular role. He was a producer. But Shimit fought for me. He says, no, I want this actor. Now, when a director has fought with his producer, first time director has fought with his producer for a particular actor, then you feel that boss, iske saath kaam karna chahiye,
Yeah.
And I'm so happy I did it because the film turned out to be a great film.
Oh, what a lovely movie.
I am still remembered after some 20 years for that one little small role that I did in that.
Was Nana Patekar like?
Nana Patekar was wonderful. We bonded immediately because we are both Maharashtrians.
Yeah.
We are both from JJ School of Art.
Oh, he's a JJ School of Art guy.
Yes, he is.
I had no idea about
Yeah.
that. Okay.
So we bonded quite nicely. Yeah,
Cool.
Of course, he's whatever reputation he has, it's true.
Okay.
But he bonded with me.
So you never thought like Bollywood has like tons and tons and tons of money. You never thought that you want to go there and explore that more because, it just seems a little bit
I'll tell
easier.
you, look at the whole hierarchy in Bollywood. You got the hero, which I don't look like. You have the heroine, which I don't look like.
Okay.
And in today's day and age, you have what kind of role does a fat guy get? So you can be a superb character actor in the sort of Paresh Rawal, Baman Irani mode.
Yeah.
But both Paresh and Baman have immense stature, okay, and they can pull off a lot of things. I am a short 5 foot 6 inch fat fellow. So where am I going to slot myself? I'll always be like a unimportant. It's like being a really small fish in a big pond. So it's better to be a big fish in a small pond.
Amazing.
One.
Yeah.
Two, Hindi has been a challenge always. And I could work harder and learn the language. But the comfort level was not there. So I said, why try and do things that you're not good at doing? And life was going very well.
Yeah.
I didn't have the ambition of making crores and crores of rupees.
Very interesting.
What did we need? We needed a car. I have very few needs.
Okay.
I need a car with petrol and a driver. That much. Okay. I need to be able to pay my electricity bill so that I can put my air conditioning on all day.
Okay.
Okay.
We live in Mumbai, so.
Yeah. Okay. And the rest is all bonus. Maybe 1 or 2 trips abroad, which is bonus. And food.
And food.
And food doesn't need to be expensive.
We are going to come to that, yeah.
Food you can eat on the road and you can, with 300 rupees, you can get a great meal.
Amazing.
So
The friendship with Cyrus, because you and Cyrus have done some outstanding comedy. I've watched one of your plays in theatre. There's of course the week that was.
The week that wasn't.
The
great thing about the show is that nobody ever got the name right.
Yeah, the week. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
And I had Cyrus for my Christmas special last year. He's a complete right. What does that mean? What does that date back to? I think Cyrus also has some background in advertising. You guys met there or did it?
Well,
and Cyrus's movies are also wild stuff.
Let me put it this way. He mentored me and I mentored him. Okay, this is the way.
Wow.
Cyrus
Okay.
is 8 years younger than I am.
Okay.
Okay. When I did theatre, when I joined theatre, Cyrus had already joined theatre as a 14-year-old boy.
Okay.
Okay. So when he was 14, I was 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. I was 22.
Okay.
Okay. But I joined theatre much later on.
Hmm.
So he auditioned me for a play.
Wow. Okay.
And he nearly cancelled me out. But it was a children's play.
Huh.
And there were a lot of children who found my face funny. So based on the children's reaction, he said, maybe we'll cast this fellow.
Was this a Pearl Padamsi kind of a thing?
Pearl Padamsi.
Okay.
It was called Ali Baba and Bablu the Bear or something.
What was Cyrus doing there? I can't imagine.
He was the Karta Dharta. He had worked on the script. He was deeply involved with the Padamsi clan. He was already he'd done 7-8 plays with them already.
Parsis go back. I mean, and they cling
but
together.
the
I
Padamsis
guess.
are not Parsis.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
The
My
Padamsis are
bad.
Khojas.
Okay,
And
my
Pearl
bad,
was a
my
Jew.
bad.
So,
Okay.
But the Padamsis are, people think of them as Parsis.
Sure. So going back.
That's where I met Cyrus.
Yeah.
And when he passed out of when he graduated, so I already had started acting with him. When he graduated and did his BA, Sylvie Dicona, who I was working for, Sylvester Dicona, asked me. As I said, it was an incestuous business.
Yes,
Everybody from
everybody's,
theatre
yeah.
knew everybody in
Everybody.
advertising.
Yeah.
And Cyrus was always known to be this sort of clever, sort of creative type.
Okay.
So Sylvie asked me, what is Cyrus Brocha doing? Has he passed his BA? So I said, he's passed his BA, he's looking for a job in advertising as a writer. He says, hire him then.
Okay.
So I was creative director then, and I hired him as a trainee writer.
Huh.
Because he did not last for many months.
Okay.
He got bored and he decided to take off to the US to do his acting course.
Acha.
That's how we met. We met through plays. Theatre is my...
In a way, you paid his bill. I mean, you paid his salary. Sorry, not his bill. Obviously, you.
I also pay his bills.
Okay.
For years and years, I have paid his bills. Yes, for his daru bills I have paid. His food bills I have paid.
Cyrus, if you're watching this, please, okay, you need to give us all a treat out here at the studio.
I'm betting you $100 you will never get a treat from Cyrus.
Yeah, he's what? He's some conjuice guy.
I'm not using the words.
Yeah, I'm using the words for God's sake. Yeah, I thought the guy is minting money. Cyrus, if you're watching this, it's high time you correct this notion that people have about you. But yeah, so
please understand, he's very happy with the image he's got.
Yeah, Cyrus looks like a very happy guy. Okay, except for the time that he was at Big Boss, but that's a different story. The week that wasn't. So when you guys, when did this come up? How did that happen?
So look, Cyrus and I were doing plays together. We did a lot of plays together. We did a lot of traveling with plays together. Plays were also, it's community building. I made my best friends in theatre.
Right.
We drank after every rehearsal.
Okay.
We collapsed after every show. We ate out a lot. We were all younger. And it was a great community. So that's where we... in मराठी मध्ये बोलतात की आमचं बाटलीतलं वादळ होतं म्हणजे storm in a bottle.
Wow.
So we drank a lot and
I love Marathi. I wish I had more of it on my show, but I just love Marathi. Staying in Bombay, if you don't, if you don't love that language, it is.
No, so we ate and drank a lot together, and we bonded over many evenings.
Okay.
And got to know each other. Decided that we could probably work together. And then the great Rajdeep Sardesai.
Of all the people.
Another
proud Mumbaikar, Maharashtrian Mumbaikar, Mulga, as they say.
Met Cyrus at the Bombay Gymkhana bar.
That's the story.
And said, look, I've been trying to do a Jon Stewart version. He had just launched, 2006, he had launched CNN News 18.
Yeah, okay.
CNN IBN as it was called in those days. That was the year that Times Now launched. CNN IBN launched, and a few other news channels launched. So Cyrus said, let's do. And Cyrus asked me, shall we do it together? So I said, yeah, let's do it together. And that was the beginning of something really good that we created.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll revive it.
Yes, we will revive it.
If someone can pay the bills, because this show is about Paisa
About paying the
Vaisa.
bills, yes.
Now I want to get to the meat of the show, so to say. Okay, and it is the meat of the show. When did you decide to turn towards food?
I didn't decide to turn towards food. I mean, I was always interested in food. I come from a family which is very food interested. Okay, both my grandmothers were extremely good cooks. When both my grandfathers were loved food. So I have recipe books in my grandfather's handwriting that they've collected over foreign travels, over whatever. So besides our community food, they would, because my grandmothers knew how to make gharcha jevan,
Obviously.
home food.
Yeah.
My grandfather would go travel, eat something, pick up a recipe, come home, get his wife to experiment with it. And so there was a lot of food conversation, food talk in the house. Even I entered the kitchen at a very early age to basically, whatever. Tinker around, and nobody ever stopped me. Nobody said, oh, you'll burn your hand. Oh, you can't touch an oven. Nothing. We just did it, And but it was at the back of my head. I never thought of it as a profession or a career or anything. I just love food and I like eating food. We ate out a lot. The family as a group went out for dinner on a regular basis.
Wow, okay.
So, and it's a very South Bombay Churchgate culture, all those fabulous restaurants on
Gaylord.
Gaylord in those days had a dance floor and a band.
Okay.
What is just dessert, just
not
pizza,
just by the bay.
Not just by the bay.
Used to be
talk of the town.
Talk of the town.
And they had a dance floor.
Yeah.
Usha Uttup sang there regularly.
Wow.
And
just opposite you had the Ambassador.
The Ambassador had the revolving restaurant. Yeah. They had a society restaurant on the ground floor.
There was Rustam's with the ice cream. That lane itself has so much of history.
Yeah. There was Berries over there, which is now Mescalita, I think.
Okay.
And Camling was there.
Oh.
So that there was, and then as you further went into Flora Fountain, there was a Bistro, Volga, Cocoa. All these restaurants were there.
Yeah.
And
you've been to all of them.
I've been to all of them. Yeah. And my grandfather so 13, 14 of us would book a huge table and go out every weekend.
Amazing.
So there was always this great interest in food, and we were not limited to only Maharashtrian home food. But I never thought of making it into a career. When I was in advertising, I used to write a humor column for the Bombay Times. It was called Full Stop, and I wrote it for 3 years. Enjoyed myself thoroughly.
Bombay Times of all the people.
Bombay Times, yeah.
They paid you for it? Or
yes, they paid me for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
But
in
Bombay
the days
Times
when you did not have to pay to be on the cover.
Okay.
In those days, they paid you. Today, you have to pay them.
Yeah. Okay.
So 3 years I wrote a humor column, and then the editor changed from Malvika Sangvi to Ayaz Memon, who...
Ayaz Memon ran Bombay Times?
For a short while.
Wow, okay, I didn't know that. Huh?
So when the switch happened, my column got bounced.
Okay.
So I said, I really like writing the column. So I said, let me get an appointment with Ayaz. I called up Ayaz. I said, can I come and see you?
Sure.
So he says, so he said, I'd continue writing, but do you want to write about food? So I said, okay. If I can eat food, I can write about it. So that's why I don't claim to be an expert of any kind, okay, honestly. I just like eating and I write about that.
I like
exactly what I do. No, but that's exactly what I do. If you see what I've continued, my trajectory, I still only eat. That's all I do, And so that happened. So I started writing a column for Bombay Times. And subsequently from those days, till about a year ago, I have always written a column in some newspaper or the other.
About food,
DNA, Hindustan Times, Mahanagar, Asian Age, The Week magazine. So for all. Then 2006, Times Now was being launched. And they were doing a very interesting thing called weekend programming. So the weekend had a lot of feature programming on it. And Sunil Lulla, who is to head MTV, and Arnab Goswami, who is Arnab Goswami, they said, this fellow is good in front of a camera. I mean, he's used to a camera. He knows about food. If you're doing a food show, let's do it with them. And they asked me. So I said, yes, I'll do it.
Okay.
And that is how the food thing on television started. Now you look really good without that.
Okay, thank you for that. I like it. I like how you switch between humility and candor, So I want to now talk about content creation. Now, here you are. I mean, you know a lot of food. But we live in an era, last 3-4 years, where everybody has an opinion about food.
Okay.
20 years ago, it was not like this.
Correct.
जहाँ जाने का है जाओ, जो खाने का है खाओ, chill करो, मौज करो, मस्ती करो, जो भी है. You know, you would not get into passionate discussions about the best vada pav in Bombay. Okay, तेरे को जो अच्छा लगता है, मेरे को जो अच्छा लगता है.
Correct.
Go out, have a good time. But now, you know, thanks to social media or thanks to whatever, a lot of opinion on food gets thrown about a lot. So I want to ask you this first thing about the YouTube channel. I mean, when did you go into full-time content creation, and what's been this journey to really become where you are? Like 500,000 subscribers is a big deal. What's been that journey like?
So this is a journey that should have started much earlier. Okay, I still regret that we are only 3 years in the sort of race.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
3 years and you're at 532K subs?
Yeah, but
Insane.
I think we would have been over a couple of million if we had come in at the right time. Okay, but me being an old-fashioned TV person who is used to being paid for things he does, that's a
fair ask.
You stand in front of a camera and you make money.
It's a fair ask, yeah.
Here, the idea of putting your own money and hoping that there will be returns did not appeal to me immediately.
As a fellow old timer who's not that far behind from you, I completely get that.
Yeah. So when my co-founders, my two young co-founders who I have worked with for several years because they used to produce my TV show and direct and all that, they'd keep telling me, karo. I said, yeah, karte. Till at one point, I said, okay, maybe I should just do this, So we started this YouTube channel. And besides everything else, I thoroughly enjoy myself when I do it, which is the most important.
The videos show that.
Yeah.
How did the name come about? Because I've always thought that for a channel like YouTube, which is, I would assume, consumed by a English-speaking audience, okay? Hats off to Amit for calling this show PaisaVaisa, and that also almost eight years ago. So was there any thinking behind that? I mean, and you're also more comfortable in English.
Yeah. So this is the battle I have with my team all the time. My team, some of them are working for GC, TV channels and all that. They say, no, you must be more Hindi. To reach a wider audience, you must do more Hindi, which I try to do.
Okay.
I get laughed at for my Hindi, but I think it's become into my Hindi chap now.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the way I speak Hindi. इससे बेहतर तो होता नहीं है.
Okay.
फिर भी अब मेरी हिंदी थोड़ी improve हो गई है अभी, बोलते सुनते करके.
Right.
And we threw around a lot of names. One, because the show that I did on Times Now was called the Foodie, which after 9 or 10 years of doing that was quite a brand that we had created. So shall we use something that harks back to that or something? And then Mohit, who's my co-founder, Mohit Kushlani, who used to be my producer at Times Now.
Okay.
His mother suggested, call the channel Khaane mein kya hai? And Mohit told me, my mother is saying this. I said, just go with it.
Yeah.
It's the most, because that is it's the most common statement you make. If you go to a restaurant, you come back home from work, खायला का है? आज खाने में क्या है?
Yeah.
Simple. It's so colloquial, and it means
Across languages.
Yeah. So we just let's go with it.
Okay.
And if you realize towards the latter part of MTV, they were also Hindifying all their lines. All their shows were like, half English, half,
Well, Cyrus' show was Bakra.
Bakra. Yeah.
So when did the sponsor come in, and what was it that that wrote it? Because for a lot of content creators, this putting your own effort, investing your own money, hoping that a brand will come and sponsor you, do your show, is fundamentally different. And you've been on both sides. From earning a salary, okay? Earning a salary is like the easiest thing. Get a job, you know that at the end of the month you are going to get paid. But when you're on your own, as a content creator, okay, you of course had a certain amount of, let's just call it bank balance, okay? With you, that gave you some comfort of, let's try this and we'll figure what happens next. For a lot of the audience out there who wants to go into content creation, it's not like that. They just put everything that they have into their content. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And you're in food. Food is as generic as, like, everybody's talking about food, okay?
Okay, so let me I'm not showing off here, but I started doing food with a huge background of having done it before.
Yeah.
Okay, because we were the only food show when I was doing it on Times Now. Everybody else was doing a cooking show.
Oh,
I was the only person doing a food show.
very interesting.
Before me, NDTV Vinod Dua, renowned journalist who conducted election reporting for years, also used to do a food show.
I loved it.
He used to go on
On the
streets,
road.
on the roads.
Yeah.
And we did pretty much that, a younger version of Vinod Dua.
Yeah.
So my face was already established on television.
Okay.
So my entry into YouTube, unlike a new content creator, was easier. So my first round of subscribers was easy to get because they said, "Arey, ye wapis aa raha hai," karke. Then your content has to build the rest of the things.
I want to get into that right away. How did you build it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's
I
a
really
pretty-
don't know. It's purely organic. We still are three creative people where somewhere at the back of our head we are still working on television. We haven't yet been able to, and this is the honest truth, crack the digital YouTube model.
Okay.
We are still creating content that we would like to see on television. It's like duration wise and the cutting and the presentation wise. Thankfully, it has worked up till now, but we are in a constant battle to figure out how to do it the YouTube way.
Are you paying? I mean, is the money coming in from Venky's, from sponsorships and from other places, from monetization on YouTube, which I'm assuming is also reasonably good? Is that paying off everything?
Are we making losses?
Or profits, whatever, I don't know.
No, we're not making any losses.
Okay.
We're making a decent profit, yes.
Okay. So that's a good thing. I mean, you found that sweet spot.
Yeah. No, but please also understand is that now the YouTube revenue is substantial, but unlike other social media people, we still work with 2 DOPs, 1 sound person.
Wow, that's your crew.
My crew, I have 1 director on set, 1 assistant.
That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah. So we spend also.
But then the production values show in the episode.
Production value shows, and I have videos that can be. So we run on, say, Vistara.
Yeah.
We are running on American Airways. We are running. So I can. What is the word? I can put this content up.
Okay.
We had to deal with NDTV where they used to run our episodes, and we used to share the loot basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever sponsorship they managed to get, they would share it. Yeah. So then the quality of this video is broadcast quality, and so we spend more money.
That's very interesting.
So we need more money, and to make it good quality stuff.
So it's would I be right in assuming that it's taken you 3 years starting from scratch, even though you had a brand name? Okay, that given, it's taken you 3 years to reach here, where you're at least making reasonably.
It has.
Might not be enough to buy a 3 BHK in Bandra or in Prapadevi or in South Bombay. But it's still a good place to be in, right?
I believe these people are buying 8 BHKs in Andheri and all. The YouTubers are making tons of money. I'm not.
If Amit Doshi is listening to this, okay, please. Please.
Amit Doshi is sitting outside ordering lunch for us right now.
That's all we get, We get vada pav or something. And I don't know about the 8 BHKs. I'm definitely not among the YouTubers, but I will leave that question for Amit to answer. Is this now what you do full time?
Yes, this is what I do full time.
Amazing. So in your 60s now, here you are, having been through so many, careers.
It's like another, but the transitions have been very smooth.
Yeah.
So it's from one thing to another. I don't intend to stop working.
Obviously, you're doing stuff that you enjoy.
Yeah, I'm doing things that I enjoy. We did it for 2 years without making any money, but now we are making some money. At least the kitchen runs.
Yeah.
And
I kind of go back to the husband of a very famous guest you had on your show who says 70-hour weeks and work-life balance. Do you have any point of view on that? First of all,
I've forgotten who.
Sudha Murthy was on your show where she made that statement, which then again went into its own zone.
Yeah.
Her husband Narayan Murthy said, So, do you have any thoughts on work-life balance as someone who only works the entire day?
No. I sleep. I like to sleep in the afternoon. I'm an afternoon napper. I have done that since my advertising days. But nobody knew because my office was at Nariman Point and I lived at Bridge Candy. I would drive home for lunch,
Mm-hmm.
take a half an hour extra longer break than anybody else, eat lunch at home, sleep for 20 minutes, and then go
Nice.
back. So I value my afternoon nap.
I don't think you spoke about this with Sudha Murthy when she was on
No,
your
I
show.
didn't.
What
I
was that
didn't.
show like?
But then
What was that episode like?
But then, sorry, I'll tell you.
What?
But that's why I don't have the kind of money her husband has, no?
Okay, yeah.
Go on.
Fair point.
I'll have to work 72 hours and...
He's got a lot of money, for sure.
But she was fantastic. One, she was completely nonchalant when it came to eating and talking about her life. She makes good copy. She knows how to talk to a camera.
Oh, so it comes very naturally to her,
It
is it?
comes very naturally to her.
That's surprising,
And she's a talker. And that's what you want as a guest. Somebody who can talk well.
Yeah. How does your operation work in this? In the sense that, do you scout for locations? How does each episode work?
Oh, it's very, very fluid. So there is one, recommendations. Two, see, it was much simpler when I did it on Times Now because a news channel has a vast network of stringers which are all over the country.
Yep.
And if I decide, ki, let's do Indore, for example, I have to pick up the phone to the local Indore stringer and say, I'm coming, could you suggest what is great? And these people, because they are hardcore local journalists,
They know exactly where to go.
They know exactly what. Okay?
Yeah.
Now it's a little tough, but you have access to social media. You go into local Instagrammers, local YouTubers, see what they are doing, look at the food, then go a little in advance, go and check out the food, taste it, and then you create a plan around it. You know, so it's not that the world is far more connected now than it was.
Do you like walk into a place and ask for free food like all the influencers do, or
We always offer to pay at the end of the meal.
amazing?
I find that the smaller restaurants never take money.
Wow.
But the bigger restaurants sometimes ask
Does
for
that
money.
strike you as ironic, or
It's ironic, but we are happy to pay our way through always. You know, I mean, we just did a few episodes on crabs and lobsters, and these are expensive foods. Even if you go to eat it in the restaurant, and we don't expect. I mean, probably that small restaurant but got 3 lobsters. If I go and consume 2 free, it just doesn't look good. You know.
Okay. So then what's like the fanciest bill you've ever paid? The highest or whatever. Just a ballpark number. Not in actual numbers, but in which place was this?
I don't know. I'll have to ask production.
Okay.
I don't
That's
deal with
no,
money.
you don't actually you don't deal
I
with
don't
money.
deal with money. Production
the way you
deals
put
with
that
money.
across.
Sorry, I can't
That's
remember.
okay.
I don't have a...
I hear that, for any guest to be featured on your show, you charge them about 1 crore or something. Is I want to get that rumor out of the way. The paparazzi have told me
just
that.
let people know that I'm willing to compromise 10%.
Okay.
Okay, but 1 crore is about what?
But let's get that out of the way, though. I mean, and you featured a very diverse set of people on your show. I've seen TV actors. I've seen like a Tahir Raj Masin. I've seen Shweta Basu, Shweta Tripathi. I don't know which one that was. And Raj Thackeray most recently. Is there a thinking on that? Like when you think of them, do they approach you? I'm sure they do. Some of them do.
Look, there is both. So we divided our weekly bucket into 3 buckets, okay? One is Khaane Mein Kya Hai, which is the show that I anchor, which is fluid. It's basically me going and eating and occasionally with a celebrity. There's a second bucket called Aate Rahiye Khate Rahiye, where we've got my co-founder Mohit and another girl, Prachi, who together explore places. And they're trying to do a slightly more focus, like, things like food after 12 at night, food at 6 in the morning, food under $500,
Wow.
so that kind of stuff. And the third is we decided that since celebs is a big thing, and we don't have the wherewithal or the patience to run after celebs, we collaborated with Beverly White, who used to be an ex-NDTV entertainment editor.
Nice.
And she has connections with a lot of celebs. And we said, let her only anchor the show, no? It'll be it'll stay on our channel. But she knows how to do this. She knows the story of the celebs. Sometimes I have to study what is. I can't do what Cyrus does, no? We just talk rubbish.
I had to study, when you came for this show. I know what hard job that
I
is.
know.
Okay. I want to wind this down with a very obvious thing to ask you because you are the authority on that. Best food. Let's start with Bombay. What's the stuff that you really like? Let's go with veg and non-veg.
In Bombay?
In Bombay. Top of mind, like just if you were to choose.
Top of mind veg, and because I am not particularly vegetarian, I like all the veg snacks that are available in Mumbai. So you start with the Maharashtrian snacks of vada pav, sabudana vada, khichdi, poha, etc., etc. Going to the Gujarati snacks with the sev, gathia,
Hold.
jalebi, fafda.
Let me just start with the Maharashtrian one, okay? Would you even want to like venture out of Dadar? Although I do know that your best vada pavs you started. I went to Capital after seeing your video.
Yeah.
There was a really good vada pav out there. So what are your favorites here under the generic veg snacks category?
I am not a big fan of vada pav. I'm a big fan of the vada. So because when we were young, there was no vada pav. Literally, it was. So we used to eat plates of batata vada. You're driving to Lonavala, Khandala. You stop at Khapoli at
the Khapoli
Ramakant
vada,
and eat batata vadas. You know,
Just like I think Chabildas Master, the Krishna,
batata vada.
yeah, they don't do vada pav. Yeah.
Correct.
You need to buy the pav separately.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I grew up not eat. I think vada pav makes a great meal, but I like the batata vada.
Okay.
And so, yeah. So it's one of my favorites. A good sabudana vada, one of my favorites.
You mentioned poha and sabudana vada. I would assume that those are best had at home. But if you're having it outside, where would you like? Would you do an aswad?
Prakash.
Prakash.
The best sabudana vada is Prakash. The best poha can be Ladu Samrat or Panshikar, or there's Vinay Health Home
Girgaon.
in Girgaon,
Yeah.
which on Sunday makes vangi pohe, which is poha with a little bit of garam masala and brinjal in it, which is spectacularly good.
Wow. That's old school, man. That's as old school as you. Vinay is like as
It's
old
been
school.
there for God knows.
I want to get this out of there because I have had this discussion on social media and at home a lot. What's the difference between Indori poha and Maharashtrian poha? If at all there is, I don't know.
No, they put dahi on it. Indori poha comes with dahi and dalim and shev and some with cut with the gravy. And Maharashtra means Mumbai's poha is. And then there are other pohes. There's a place which
It is sweeter also.
Indori poha is sweeter.
Indori poha is sweeter
okay,
also.
yeah.
And they do a lot of experimentation with poha.
Okay,
So
okay,
how you like it and all. But there is a shop in Pune, and I've forgotten the name. It's exactly opposite that Dagdu Shed Ganpati. Just somewhat. No, it's a poha shop. It's a new chain. They do about 7-8 kinds. Dapke pohe, which is pohas which are not cooked.
And this is near Dagru.
Yeah,
I'm
opposite
going to check it
Dagdu
out
Shed.
next time
Yeah.
I'm there. Yeah.
I've done an episode, so you can go to my channel and check it
Okay,
out. I did it
okay.
with the Bhadipa boys, Bhadipa boy and girl. I mean, with Sarang and his partner.
Those are locals.
Yeah, they're
YouTubers.
huge, not local.
I'm sorry if I have no
They're,
idea.
in Marathi, they are huge YouTubers. They're 3 times my size.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Move to non-veg in Bombay. What's that look like?
Oh, that's a tough question because
Ma'am, you won't
Yeah,
want to go
no,
with
no.
like a Mahesh or a
no.
Excellency, Trishna.
No, I will not. Okay, let me put it this
That's
way. Okay?
interesting.
I like a really good biryani,
Okay.
which is like a Jafar Bhai or an ITC biryani.
Hmm.
I like really good Malwani food, which
yeah.
one of my favorites is a roadside stall at Dadar
Okay.
called Raju.
Okay.
And he comes out at 7 in the evening. The mutton, the keema, the tisrya,
Wow.
the prawn curry is all cooked at home and bought in tapelas and kept over there, and he sells it out of
Where
there.
is this?
It's do you know where Sachin is at Dadar? Sachin restaurant.
Talking about plaza or
No,
station?
Gokhale Road.
Gokhale Road.
Gokhale Road.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. ठीक है.
So it's on Gokhale Road.
Okay.
Before you come to Randade Road.
Okay. That's as Dadar as you can get. When you
Yeah,
say Gokhale
it's
Road and
Gokhale
Nalde Road, you're
Road,
like,
yeah.
you know.
And then he's got a hot kadai there, so the fish and the
Amazing.
prawns he fries fresh
In front of you.
Vade in front of you. Best.
I really thought you'd go with Gomantak out there, but yeah, okay, fine.
Gomantak, the problem is I'm also a lazy man, you know. This Gomantak is I have to stand in a line, and I am not standing in a line
Okay.
for Gomantak. Gomantak is good. Huh? There's no question about Gomantak being good.
So, okay. We are sorted on veg, non-veg in Bombay. Now, I just want to kind of start wrapping this up with an all-India thing. Favorite fruits across India, wherever you've been?
Oh, the Nihari in Agra, early morning.
Nalli Nihari.
Yeah, Nihari in Agra, or even in
You
Jama
said
Masjid.
early in the morning.
Yeah, Nihari 6 in the morning. By 6:30, 7 it gets over.
I'm a vegetarian. I had no idea about that.
Nihari is breakfast.
Oh, okay.
And it's cooked all night and it's eaten in the morning for breakfast with garam roti.
Okay.
So that is nothing beats that kind of
Reminds
food.
me of that scene in Vikram Veda where he says about taking the 2 dips and then having it. And here
I haven't seen Vikram Veda.
So there is a scene in that with a Nalinari reference. Anyway, go on, please.
So that is unbelievably good. What else? The kebabs at ITC.
Okay.
is
Which one?
well,
Peshawari,
all of
Dampak
them.
or-
They've all standardized their kebabs.
Kebabs and curries. The one
Kebabs and
at-
curries is
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
Mohammad Sharif, the chef over there, is a master.
Okay.
They all worked under Imtiaz Qureshi and
Wow.
they've all just got it right. They've just got that
Among
right.
5 stars, like ITC is there and it's
Indian
still
food.
there. For Indian food.
For Indian
For Indian food. They're still there, right? Amazing. Okay.
Still there.
Let's do a South thing. What do you like down south? Like, I was in Bangalore a couple of weeks ago and they've got these Rameshwaram cafes and all that where there is madness. I mean, the kind of crowd that's out there. Any favorite foods in the south, like something in Kerala, something in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh?
Kerala,
or-
the greatest thing about Kerala is that it has 3 distinct cuisines, all non-vegetarian. So you've got, one vegetarian. So you've got the Mapla Muslim cuisine, you've got the Syrian Christian cuisine, and then you've got the Brahmin vegetarian sadhya and all. Okay. Then you go from Kerala, Tamil Nadu border, you have the Palakat cuisine, which is again a version of the sadhya, vegetarian.
yeah.
But Kerala has the finest food.
Yeah.
The finest Indian food. But then you say that, then you say Bengal. What's wrong with Bengal? Bengal makes great food. Bengal has got the Avdi
Machar
food,
jhol,
Avdi food plus Machar jhol and all that.
Yeah.
Because of Wajid Ali Shah lineage, you've got all that food happening there.
Yeah.
And so Indian food, best food in the world.
Yeah.
French be damned.
And you can't beat it for diversity.
You cannot. You cannot. The only cuisine which remotely comes close to Indian food is Chinese food because it's a vast country with many regions and various very, very different tastes, a bit like Indian food. But we've not managed to explore the whole of China and I don't think any restaurateur has. But whereas in India, we have the luxury of being in the country and being able to have access to so much food. Look, today on the road in Mumbai, look at a dish like Champaran mutton. Champaran mutton is a Bihari dish, okay, which suddenly became famous. Now, right from Andheri East, there are shops that sell you this Batka mein Champaran mutton.
Wow.
I mean,
I had no idea about that.
It may not be typical, but there are. Parel, there's a shop. Andheri East, there's a shop. Andheri West, there's a shop. Yari Road, there is one shop.
I was in Chandigarh. I went to Pal's Dhaba, what I'm saying, Pal's Dhaba in Sector 28. Insane. I mean, sitting in those places and having the food out there is just another experience. Yeah.
It's just...
What does a restaurant have to do to get listed with you or to be featured on your place? Does he just call you or how does it work?
There is no hard and fast rule. It helps if one has heard about it.
Sure.
Word of mouth is a very big thing for me also, because the kind of the truth that comes out of word of mouth is always better than actually a PR company coming and
Pitching.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
At the same time, and I'm making this pitch openly, yes, we also promote restaurants and foods, but we have clearly categorized which are being promoted and which are not being promoted.
Fantastic.
Because one has to make a rupee somewhere, After all, the show is called Paisa Vaisa.
Oh, yeah. And Khaane mein kya hai? Last 2 questions. First up for you is what's your advice to content creators in the food space? I mean, there are tons of them. But it's just someone watching this, listening to this, probably has a passion for food, which I think is a basic requirement. What did you tell him or her starting his own channel?
I really don't have any advice, but as I always say, it's like food writing, okay? It's great to know about food, but you must be able to write as well. Similarly, is the camera your medium? How are you going to look on camera? Are you comfortable in front of camera? Lots of people are. I'm not trying to make this into one only I can do it thing.
You're very photogenic, aren't you?
I wouldn't say photogenic. I fill the frame.
Okay.
So you hone your craft, I'm saying. If you want to be on video, then you bloody well make sure you look good on video.
Yeah.
In whatever way. I'm not saying look good means makeup and hair, but just, and I think digital camera, television, is a very truthful medium. It catches out small nuances in the face, in the expression, which film does not. And so you can't lie continuously on this medium.
Can't fake it till you make it.
You can't fake it.
Yeah.
You can't fake it.
Watch the money.
Watch the
money. I mean, if I'm a content creator, I should be mindful about how to.
Of course.
Yeah, that's important.
Why
right?
should everything be passion? It has to be commerce as well.
Okay, cool.
I mean, life is commerce is important in life.
Yeah. Did you ever learn about personal finance ever, or I?
I have a very good friend and wealth manager who has been with me since I started saving 1,200 rupees a month in SIPs.
Oh, nice.
So
there used to be a time where they would say that you need to have a good broker, a good doctor, a good lawyer.
yeah,
Now I think a good wealth manager also comes in, or at least an advisor. And my last question: I'm new to Bombay. I'm going to be in a local train from Churchgate to Virar probably. I have the entire day for me. Where should I go to eat food? What would you recommend?
you're vegetarian.
No, non-veg, whatever. I'm just saying that this is someone who's watching this, comes new to Bombay, has heard our episode so far, and that's what he wants to know.
So
I want to go across Bombay. I want to go from breakfast to dinner and drinks the entire thing, and I have just one day.
That's a big ask. But if you get onto the Western line, get off at Grand Road Station, go to B Meherwan, eat the mawa cake.
Start your day with that?
Yeah, start your
And
day
a
with
chai,
that. Yeah.
brown maska?
Correct. Brown maska, mawa cake, chai.
Okay.
It's right outside the station on the east side. You can get back onto the train at Grant Road, get off at Dadar or Parel. You get off at Parel, Lower Parel. I think you can cross over the bridge, go to Lalbagh and eat Sri Datta boarding Malwani food. It's fantastic.
Okay.
Get on back to the train, get off at Bandra. And
My part of town. What do you
your
have
part
for
of
me?
town,
Yeah.
yeah.
What
go,
do you have?
Yeah, I'd go to Khaane Khas at and eat some
Oh,
really
the
good
man
food
knows.
there.
The man really knows his food.
Yeah, 35 years I've been going to Khaane Khas.
Yeah.
So it's
What do you
been-
love there?
I love their Punjabi meat curry. I love their jhinga fry. I like their achari chicken tikkas. And
Okay. I'm back in the train.
Really good, yeah.
Where do I go next?
Then you
Since
get
suburb
in,
side,
get off at Santa Cruz and go and eat Gokul ice cream. Get on back at Santa Cruz, go to Ville Parle and go into Ville Parle station to Vijay stores and buy some Puran Poli and
Oh my. Okay. I
get
think my,
back. You can keep going.
almost done. I
Yeah.
think just
You can-
one, maybe dinner, maybe.
You get on Ville Parle and I just, dinner, let me think.
Something in Andheri side, maybe.
You can go to Gajali for dinner.
Seafood again.
Which is, seafood. Or you can go to Andheri is a bit far away from me. So
Okay.
I'm not.
I think that
I'm
your
not a
train
great-
needs to stop at Bandra at best, I
My
guess, right?
Dadar se Bandra, Bandra se Andheri तेज जाएगी.
किसी स्टेशन पर नहीं रुकेगी.
किसी स्टेशन में.
Drinks. Any favorite watering holes?
Yes, but I have quit drinking 5 years ago, so I am
Okay.
completely dry now.
Okay.
But we have done our quota of drinking. I once did an interview with Dharmendra years ago for the Foodie. Okay.
Wow.
And so he took me to his favorite restaurant in Ville Parle to eat. And I said, sir, shall we have a drink? So he told me, मेरी जिंदगी का दारू का कोटा खत्म हो गया.
Oh.
I
okay.
do not drink anymore.
Oh my,
Which
okay.
is me. I think you can ask Cyrus the next time you meet him. The amount of drinking we've done in our lives, I have retired.
On that very sanitized and very dry note, folks, that is a wrap on this Christmas special of Paisa Vaisa. Wishing you a Merry Christmas. There's going to be one last episode of Paisa Vaisa before the year is up, and then we'll go into the new year. But on this show, broadcaster, foodie, and I don't know how many tags to give you, but what a pleasure to have Kunal Vijaykar on the show. Khaane Mein Kya Hai on YouTube, and Kunal is available in doing
Why
various.
is this show called Paisa Vaisa? We never talked about. Are you paying me? No. Paisa de rahe ho mujhe?
Can someone call Amit Doshi right here and bring him in and talk to? Well, I think Amit is the right person to answer why Paisa Vaisa. It goes back to some absolutely obscure story when we started and we were struggling for titles, and there's this very, very obscure song. You just search it on YouTube. मुझको चाहिए थोड़ा पैसा ऐसा कैसा वैसा or something.
Okay.
It just stuck.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you
Chalo,
so
theek
much.
hai.
Wishing you a Merry Christmas.
Merry
Wishing you a Merry
Christmas.
Christmas
Happy New
and a
Year.
Happy New Year to all of you. That's it for Paisa Vaisa, folks. Thank you so much for watching.